She still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Sean Whaley is furious.
She's upset. But 100%.
Oh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of Axe Cake Picks, episode 196. Today is Friday, September the 26th, 2025. And Joe, I got people calling me up telling me they want to play for the fucking Raiders. How the hell you doing?
The Raiders, man. I don't know if they're a team you can back right now, but
No.
yeah, I was up all morning watching some fights, PFL. They up to doing some Europe, PFL Europe 3. They even got to 3 without anyone really even knowing. But one Friday fights, they're up to 126. I have some OG legends, Sam A, Sexon, a couple good names there. And, other fights than what we're going to discuss this weekend. We got Cage Warriors 194, LFA 218, hell, even BKFC 81 in Manchester, across the pond. So I'm sure you can find some fights other than what the UFC is offering.
Speaking of BKFC 82 next week in Newark, Brick City. I will be there, so I cannot wait. My first BKFC event. What should I expect?
You got credentialed, right?
Yes.
Congratulations, my friend, and I hope you do well.
Fun.
Should be a great experience. Yeah, absolutely.
What should I expect? I've never seen a BKFC event.
Violence, fast-paced, very fast finishes. You're going to see a lot of the quick fights, and they pace themselves rather well. So it should be an enjoyable event.
You think Connor will be in the building?
Maybe, man. It's a big venue, and they're saying whoever wins does pose a threat to maybe fight him. Inklings he wants to fight in the UFC again. He may not. He's so
for $100 million.
Could he make that? A bare knuckle boxing. You think he could sell his belt as a boxing pay-per-view or event?
No, he was saying Connor came out on Twitter and said he wants to fight the White House main card
for $100 million.
Jeez Louise,
that's not happening. So
yeah,
that's what I mean. It's probably more likely to do a BKFC, either winner Jeremy Stevens or Mike Perry.
Yeah, so should be a really good event. Cannot wait to hit Prudential Center tomorrow, next week, and got a good card today. And for you guys, we'll recap Dana White Contender Series Week 7 already. Wow. We're
into Week 8.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we got some news we'll start off with. We're down at the Land Under. Are you worried that the ticket sales? Did you hear about that?
Australia. No, I had said a little piece about it. I think it should be more affordable. Maybe certain packages like experiences and, maybe it was a little, facetious would say, $100 front row tickets. I don't necessarily think all that, but just more affordable for the masses. I think it also still make a profit. I still think you would actually grow the fandom and therefore more money. It's, being penny wise and dollar foolish at the moment. Let's think long term.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll talk about Perth. We'll have picks and predictions there. Like Joe said, Dana White Contender Series Week 8, he'll have his picks. How are we doing on totals?
I did just miss one. I did, but I'm not even upset. It was Reyes getting that crazy finish right there, and I mean his story and everything. I'm not even upset about that. So yeah. we'll take it on the chin.
And then we'll end with Risen over in Japan. Risen 51 Sunday morning. Excited about that? You said it was a good card.
Bro, 18 fights.
Wow.
That's insane. Yeah, they're throwing a lot. We're going to have, 16 for Noche until one dropped out. So, I don't know. If, like we said, we could pace it well. I think we can get a lot of fights in a big card. Maybe we could do a 20-fight card. I don't know. That's maybe just stretching it.
Yeah, 100%. But all right, let's go to Dana White Contender Series Week 7 on Tuesday night. I was actually able to watch some of these fights, and to be honest, I thought the women stole the show.
That wasn't a finish. They went back and forth. That was an arguable finish. I mean,
and honestly, I'm glad. I thought Montenegro won.
Yeah, I do too. Exactly. We argue she won the third. I don't know where her, Chavez winning the third came from, but she got the whole victory. And
to be honest, I'm glad they both made the UFC.
Absolutely. Yeah, both got the contract, both deserving. And so far, the women's fights in DWCS, they have been fire, man.
Yeah, they have been fire.
Putting it on the line. Absolutely.
And both fights, all 4 women have made the UFC.
That's amazing. Like. And we need that. We need the injection of the new youthful talent that we're getting from Dana White.
We got another Magomedov. I mean, he put him out quick.
Bro, and Zercher was really good in PFL. So maybe we're speaking to the level of what PFL's got at the moment in time. We see what happens when they went square up with Bellator. That's why they had an influx of those fighters going to them. So I don't know.
And he was an underdog, plus 110.
You see, you got to pump the brakes when you see some PFL guys maybe join the ranks of the UFC or even in the Dana White Contender Series.
Yeah, and then I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, but he was an underdog too.
Kondratavicius. So
he was good.
Lithuanian, yeah, dude, great striking. And the other guy was undefeated, so I mean, no slouch there. I just thought this is some spectacular finish. It was the best card, I think, all year.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was able to witness that at the end of the evening. I've been working those nights, and I was able to find my way to view them. And man, I'm pleasantly surprised by what I saw.
And what'd you think of the Torres and Reyes fight? That was a banger too.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Exactly. Yeah, it was an amazing finish right there. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. Shout out Reyes, even though he ruined the total win streak that was going on, the undefeated win streak. It was a fantastic fight. And even that first one to start the card, I thought it was flipped because I feel like these bigger guys, when Tobias got the submission, I feel like those guys, the talent, they could have probably headlined the event. It's not really, main event headliner, but at the top of the card, you would have been the last fight. But I think that's how stacked we're getting. We're getting so much talent from all over the world. It's making for an enjoyable Tuesday night.
Yeah, 100%. So 6 fighters got contracts. But like I said, both women were able to get a contract to the UFC. So, and to be honest, Joe, I think they'll add something to the women's flyweight division. So
for sure.
That's what we need. That's what we need. Yeah. So we're on to week 8. How did you do overall record?
3-2. Like I said, missed that first total. I thought I could have hit it and had a little bit more, but we're still positive. Dana White Contender Series is strong for me right now. I think I'm around like 18-10 for this year's record, and only have 1 loss as for totals.
All right, cool. Well, we'll try to make it even better this week for week 8, a little later on in the show. But Joe, before we get to UFC Perth, we got some news I wanted to take about, since we didn't really have much to discuss. I figured we'd talk about news.
That's right.
UFC Rio, we have a new main event. Rafael Fiziev is out with an injury. You gotta feel for him. He's been.
I think I saw this.
He's been plagued with injury as of late in his career. So Charles Oliveira, new main event. Here steps in Polish Power, Matusa Gamrot against Charles Oliveira, UFC Rio, October 11th. What do you think about this fight?
You feel for Fiziev, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate. Like, you feel like this guy's just getting hitting the ground running and then stumbles up again. It's best ability is availability. We did it time and time again. So prayers up. I don't think it's that severe of an injury. So maybe, unfortunately, if Oliveira does get past Gamrot, maybe Fiziev gets one more fight older Oliveira. You know what I mean? He gets that fight back regardless. And we'll see what happens. But, I mean, has he ever fought Fiziev? Have they ever gotten together? So, I mean, you could say the winner of that will get him regardless of the situation. So, unfortunately, you could argue maybe there's some conspiracy. It's a move, right? I hate to be that guy, but it could be a smart move in the sense that because either one of these guys gets a fight older, having a fight one another, Fiziev's going to get the winner of it regardless, even though he steps out of injury this time. You get my point. You get what I'm trying to get at. Maybe I'm not wording it well, but that's just a conspiracy theory of mine. And I think it is still going to make for a great fight, but it looks like the winner of it regardless, even though he does have that injury. We don't know the severity of it, but I feel Fiziev in that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the only pushback I would have is I don't know if the UFC is going to award him after pulling out, whether it's an injury or not, where he could contain. So we'll see. But I like it. Can you guess whose line? Who's
that favorite? It changed. I would have thought that Rafael Fiziev would have been the favorite going against Oliveira, but now I think what? Damn, man. Gamrot's pretty damn good, bro. We can't sleep on Gamrot, but does the public know that? Like, are they going to sway the odds more? Yes, I would think that Oliveira, to me, maybe personally, maybe Gamrot, but like, let's go Oliveira just based off what the public may think. Oliveira is a slight favorite, like maybe minus 150 for Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira minus 120, even money at Matusa Gamrot. It's very close.
Really close. Yeah. No, I was just thinking that, real ones who know ball know that Gamrot is a really good fighter. So
100%.
He could have wound up being the favorite there. But yeah, I see easily how Oliveira is as well to the masses.
All right, kid. Outside of that, no UFC news for this week, but PFL, you mentioned it a little earlier. They are heading to Lyon, France, December 13th. 2 PFL European tournament finals for the PFL Heavyweight Championship. Hadim Ferreira taking on Vadim Nemkov and Chris Cyborg versus Sarah Collins for the Women's Featherweight Championship.
Who? No. Yeah, Sarah Collins. I don't really remember Sarah Collins too much. I hate to say it's just another cakewalk for Cyborg, but yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not too familiar.
What do you think about the Ferreira and Vadim Nemkov?
It's Henan Ferreira. The guy Nagano had knocked out recently.
Mm-hmm.
Vadim Nemkov could beat him, man, just based technically, right? Just his whole package. And I know he's definitely be a smaller guy. Most everyone's smaller than Henan Ferreira, but he is a light heavyweight moving up here. But he just seems like a super talented guy, pound for pound type fighter. Vadim Nemkov, you could see the level of talent. He gets past Henan Ferreira rather convincingly. You could see he might be a UFC level talent, and maybe he gets there, but it seems that he likes being locked down elsewhere. They probably pay him well enough, right? He's a big name in that promotion, so he might not be going anywhere. I heard like something about trades, right? They're like trying to trade fighters. I don't know how much Don Davis would be willing to deal. The same thing goes for Dana White. I don't know how much they'll be willing to work with one another.
What does that mean for Francis Ngannou?
I don't know if we're seeing him fight, right? It's like a Conor McGregor situation. These guys got too much money. They got the bag and they ran. They did, bro. So, I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Is gun to your head, is Francis Ngannou's next fight in boxing or MMA?
Oh, my God. MMA against Jake Paul.
Wow. Even though Alexander Usyk has been calling him out.
Hey, bro, I heard. If you haven't seen, Mark Kerr was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they said Usyk could throw a mean spinning heel kick. So, I mean, he's just the type of athlete he is, bro. You don't know. He could easily.
Oh, I don't doubt anything.
I don't doubt anything he could do.
He's
regarded from a cruiserweight and maybe not known as much as when he moved to heavyweight, is now regarded as one of the greatest of all time, up there with like Ali, Tyson. So,
by the way, speaking of Jake Paul, did you catch the press conference between him and Tank over the week?
Photo edits too. They're like making Tank look like but it's my point. Like, this guy's about to fight. Like, how is he not active? I mean, regardless if it's a gimmick fight or not, you have to have him ranked in my pound for pound. So I'm just trying to justify my list prior week. But I know how it could look, based off him.
What do you think about the $2 million bet?
Is it legit? Did he go up to
It was funny because they shook hands on it. They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it."
It seems like the handshake doesn't mean much.
No, I was just gonna say because then Tate Davis came out and said, "I don't give a fuck what I said. I'm not giving him $2 million
if he loses." I think it goes both ways. It's just not gonna pay up. Like, could that hold up in court? No way. A handshake bet can't hold up.
No, it's not.
You would know.
No, that it's nothing's written, so we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
But I kind of like. Tank's kind of been festy over these press conferences, going to MVP, the CEO of MVP. What's his name? Nikisa Bazarian. So him going up to him and he'd be like, "Yo, you got money, right? Bet on your man." Honestly, I like the confidence Tank, because technically, obviously, Tank is the better fighter.
Absolutely. I don't think the size advantage is going to overcome the skill cap advantage.
That's my thing. It's yes. The size is obviously huge, but my thing is, can he catch Tank?
Bro, his gas tank, the way he moves, and he's got power, bro. Like, we can't sleep it. Maybe it's not a shot to the head, but just like we've seen Floyd Mayweather travel to Japan and fight, he fought one of the up-and-coming kickboxers they have who was an undefeated guy, and it was an exhibition fight, but knocked him out. Body shots galore. Like, who's to say that? Yeah,
that's what I think Tank's gonna do. I think
body.
What happens when you keep hitting to the body? The hands come down.
It's a little softer to the head. He obviously, with the beard and obviously there's the big head, I don't think Jake's gonna be able to get knocked out. I just think that if you attack the body, it will open up the rest of the game as well.
Maybe not KO, but a TKO.
That's what I mean. Body shot TKO. Yeah. We just see get knocked down with the body shot. Was it Ryan Garcia? He
did by Tank. Yeah.
Boom. There you go. It was.
Did you even hear Sean? And he was on his podcast, and they said, if you were to have a boxing fight, would you rather fight Tank or Ryan Garcia? And he said, well, it depends on the money. I need at least 5 to 10 million.
Who they ask again?
Sean O'Malley. And he goes, tough fight for either. But he said he would rather fight Tank, which surprised me because I thought Tank is better. In my opinion, I think Tank is better than Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. I mean, he beat him.
Yeah, that's my thing.
So
I don't
hydration
know.
clause or not, regardless of the situation, it happened. And I think, yeah, you saw how Marab got in on there, right? Got in on Sean. So
Yeah.
Gervonta cutting angles and hitting the body again, like that just seems to be his game. Like he doesn't ignore the body and he opens up shots up top. So I mean, yeah, I think it actually would be a tougher fight, but Ryan Garcia is no slouch either. So I don't know.
I
What
mean,
will make
after
him more
last
money.
fight,
Will it even ever happen?
I mean, after last fight, Ryan Garcia looked a shell of himself.
It would be more likely for them to fight if it were to happen.
Yeah. By the way, you keep bringing up good things, and they keep transitioning. Did you see Marab over the weekend? He's training with Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, bro. I've had
He tapped out Mighty Mouse, and and Demetrius Johnson goes. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was a face crank, and he goes, I felt like my ribs were gonna burst.
Yeah, it's like he just is like, he's obviously got that gas tank. He's probably got a lot of muscle stamina. So just getting in, like once he was able to, he jumped right through a guard and right into was like kind of a scarf hold esque type. It wasn't really more choke oriented. It was more just like you said, pain oriented, where he was manipulating it so much and squeezing up on the neck that he said that the two joints he felt that were going to pop was going to be his rib and his neck.
Yeah.
So it's just the brutality of it. There's a lot more, I think, in the game that fighters don't utilize,
Yeah.
And that's something we're seeing in live time. We're seeing Marab evolve, and him evolving as a champion is just making him more and more established as a champion and likable and arguable the greatest bantamweight of all time, right? He's getting up there.
Yeah, he is definitely getting up there. And he, even Mighty Mouse came out and said, I was trying to get small pop my head out from behind, but he goes, I just couldn't. One, he's so fucking strong, and he goes, two, what was defeating was I look up and he's smiling,
laughing. He's looking
like
at the
this
camera.
guy's a psychopath.
Absolute nutcase, bro.
I like Corey Sandhagen, I really do, but I think this is a tough matchup. He's getting Marab at like his best right
and
now.
He's evolving, and obviously we see it more that Cody's gonna have. He's going to have to keep it standing, right?
He has to keep it standing.
He's going to have to keep it standing. If we do see the advantage that Marab's going to have on the ground. He trains with Aljo, and all the credit he's given to Aljo throughout his career and currently still does. Look what Aljo did to Corey Sandhagen. He choked him unconscious.
Literally unconscious. So I can't wait for that fight. Obviously, he's a huge favorite. I'm trying to get the numbers for you right now, but I got it. Can you guess? Holy shit! Can you guess the line for Marab, Corey?
Oh, at least minus 200, maybe even minus 300 now. I don't know. I don't think they're giving Corey that big of a shot.
Minus 370 Marab, plus 295 Corey, almost a 3-1 underdog. If it was against anyone else, you gotta take Corey.
Yeah, but right, you're fading this guy who's just a machine, bro.
He's the machine for a reason.
Yeah, we wanted to see these type of level of champions, and these guys are just the cream of the crop right now. We see that in Pantoja, we see that in Marab. Maybe so much so as we're gonna see with the women's at that weight classes. Maybe we'll see it with these two guys. Who knows?
Yeah, 100%. So that was kind of everything that I saw through the timeline and everything over the week. So it's kind of a quiet week in MMA and boxing this weekend. But Kid, you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
All right,
man. Down under. Western.
Real quick, before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks. So just a kick. Just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or another Berry watching UFC Perth, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Laying down under Perth, Australia, and prelim start at 7 o'clock here. I thought we were going to get an early start time, but we will not. Main card goes off at 10. So Yeah, why don't you start us off, kid? I got about 4 or 5 picks. I'll jump in when I have my
Yeah,
first.
jump in when you feel. Yeah, do what you got to do. I'm seeing a little bit of a change because when I first got these, I had it in a certain order. So let's see if I got this right. You correct me if so as
Yes.
well. So let's get into UFC Perth, man. Seeing it kicking off with women's strawweight,
Yes.
right? Loma Lookbone, plus 200 dogs taking on Alexa Dayanara at minus 235. I like the Thai fighter and Loma Lookbone a lot. I think her game is really one-sided though, right? I mean, really one trick pony-ish. Only with the stand-up does she have a shot, and I think she has a big disadvantage. We've seen her improve a little bit. We've seen a little of feistiness with her getting the initiation of takedowns in some of her recent fights, but I just don't feel like there's a big gap to close there on the ground, and Alexis Dayanara does have submissions in her arsenal. So, I'm actually looking at it now, man. I'm going right here on a straight pick, a straight prop for this fight with Alexa Dayanara taking the victory via submission at plus 275. Could flip the odds for you, but I didn't have parlay, but I'm looking to make one here with the women. Like these women fights, man, I think there's some money to be made. So I'll keep that in mind when talking about that other fight upcoming. I see a heavyweight matchup next. Kind of 2 debuting UFC fighters here. Brando Pericic at minus 175. He's a favorite against Alicia Ellison at plus 125. I think people kind of know ball when they're looking at Ellison that this dude could get the finish. He's got a lot of first round knockouts at well. So Pericic being that much of a favorite, I don't think you want to lay that on a newcomer. So it seems the favorite to more or less this fight to end via KO TKO, and there's not play on that. I'll take the under on the rounds because if we're seeing that either guy can knock either out and the KO TKO is at minus 400 and up, it's not playable. Let's just see that this fight finishes. It even offers this. It could be, I guess, a disqualification or a foul ending or even a submission. So yeah, under the 2.5 rounds at minus 200, I'll take that all day. And now I'm into that other women's fight. Quick, right into it. It's bantamweight division here, and Luana Carolina, she's been a tough out, and I mean it's tempting to maybe back her at plus 200, but let's look at Michelle Montague right here, man. I do think that this is her debut, right? And she's a favorite, right? You don't normally expect that. As hesitant I was looking at the 2 debuters in the previous fight, I'm more confident in this chick, and I just think that she has a submission game to back it. World class when it comes to her jiu-jitsu. So I'm looking at it now, man. Switch these odds, flip them right completely over, and taking Montague via submission at plus 215, like we just did with Dayanara. Let's make that a parlay. I'm doing this live, guys. So I think I have the parlay. I thought I had the parlay calculator up. You still use Action, don't you?
Yeah, from time to time to track. I don't use the calculator though.
No free shout outs, guys.
Yeah.
But, I was gonna say,
Exactly.
yes, that's your app. That's your app. But yeah, let's do this 215 plus 275, right? We flip the odds. We're over plus 1,000, putting those 2 girls. I'm gonna ride over to North Carolina. I want to place this bet. We're gonna do this. I think this is a live parlay. So we covered the women, and let's go right into, if I'm correct here, like I said, a little switch up on
thickness.
Colby, quickness, right? Slickness, thickness. And Josiah Musasa, also pretty interesting nickname, the KO Wizard, which I think his last time out, he got a submission, right? Or something like that. So, it's surprising to see Musasa as the favorite, minus 150. I don't know. I think after that, Montague win, and I think Colby coming in after as the Australian fighters, I think the crowd might be with him. I think he's playable as a dog. We've seen him fight good level competition in his debut, his UFC debut, so he's not used to the light. Mind you, but Musasa has been in the octagon, but the Dana White Contender Series, not the UFC yet. So, sometimes the lights can be too bright. Maybe hard to back any favorite that's making their debut here. I'd rather go with a guy with, even if it's one fight UFC experience. Let's take the dog, Colby. Slickness, thickness, plus 140.
Oh, I agree. I'm on the same side. Plus 130. Give me Colby. This is the only Colby I will back. I think the crowd's going to be there in the RAC arena in Perth, and I think they're going to go home happy. Most of their hometown fighters. I think I like a lot of the Perth guys here, obviously, but I think he might dominate Musai here on the ground. As Musai, I just don't think he's good at that jiu-jitsu thing that comes in handy in MMA fights. So I think Colby, he has takedowns, he has capability to steal the fight and steal some rounds. So at a dog price, I think the value has to be with Colby. So I'll take it plus 130.
I like it. I'm glad we're on the same side. What's the worst that can happen? But actually, for this time around, I think we're good, bro. I think this one's gonna work out. I might actually have to make a couple of plays. I might put some money on Colby's right here. So let's talk about the next fight. Do you have a play in it by chance? Jamie Malarkey, Ronaldo Bedoya. I see it as a pick'em. Do you have anything?
The Peruvian versus the Australian. I do not.
Wasn't
it Navarro Sterling before? Was it not?
No, I don't see that yet. Am I?
Oh no, that's the featured prelim. But no, I don't have anything for this. I mean, I probably would take Malarkey.
You know, that's why I'm gonna have to lean it now. I'm taking a step back. I'm gonna lean Malarkey. I'm not gonna have an official play. I'm
a little inconsistent.
Pumping the brakes on the inconsistency of Malarkey and that it is a fellow Peruvian. So you know, you know how I say you got to pull me out of these situations when I'm gonna make a play here because I always get it wrong. Right, they're the Brewers, right? My Peruvian fighters are the Brewers of my betting world. So yeah, stay away from it officially, but I'm with you. I'll officially.
Sometimes the best bet is no bet.
Then no bet in this one. So Jamie Malarkey, official lean if you guys are tempted. If you're tempted.
Oh, your boy Andre Petrosky next.
Yo, I mean, I don't know, man. It's been up and down for him, has it? Quite a bit, right? Cam Ralston's looked pretty good. He's tall. You know, he's fighting in his own backyard. I think the UFC's doing him a favor here. I haven't really seen him on the ground too much, right, Ralston? So obviously I think Petrosky's attempt is to get this, but we've seen such a level difference, I think, on the feet, man. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm going to be transparent with you. This isn't my pick now. I'm doing two back and back that I'm like looking at it and I'm like thinking to myself that maybe Petrosky just doesn't have it on the feet, bro. Like I had my play here for Petrosky at first, but how could you favor him? Like it's like he needs to get this fight to the ground. He needs to submit his opponent, or he's going to be at a disadvantage on the feet. I have you not seen that? Right? I think I might go and switch it here. I think I might, as much as before, I'm going a little against my rhetoric and saying that I'm not really backing guys making their debut. Cam Ralston was in Dana White Contender Series twice. He looks like he's evolved himself this time around. This might be a good matchup for. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna lay the hammer on Cam Ralston as a dog here live for you guys. Like I said, leading up to this, I was on Petrosky's side, but I just don't think he can overcome the striking. I think Cam Ralston's gonna piece him up.
That's what I'm afraid of. That's why I kind of stayed away from it. I just don't trust Petrosky on the feet, and I think he's very hittable.
Very hittable. And I think actually Carl Ralston with that length, he's gonna chin him. I think he could TKO him or something like that and hurt him. So you know, we like Petrosky, we like we like the Philadelphia Cats, but man, as much as I was leading in with Petrosky in this last minute switch, Ralston as a dog on the money line. I like that play.
Let's go.
Obon Elliott would have been in this spot, but he got out, man. What's going on with your boy? Because you like the Welsh gangster.
I do. He was sick. He has something wrong with him, so unfortunately he had to pull out. You know, I was gonna go with my Welsh gangster.
Yeah, me
see
too,
these.
Dude. I mean, yeah, the exactly. Pythons, guy. Now I'm seeing, am I right? The Navajo Sterling fight against Rodolfo Bellato.
Correct.
Yo, I gotta play, right? You know, Navajo Sterling. I think the expectations are a little high for what he's been delivering. I don't necessarily know if he's all that talented. He might be very raw right now. Maybe not that he's not talented. That's what I mean. It's like he hasn't reached that potential yet, right? It just seems he's very raw. Bellato's been in a lot of firefights in his career. You know, a lot of disappointing performances. I think Sterling backing Sterling in this spot, and though he's he's in his own backyard, I feel like he's a bracket buster. I feel like he's just a trap fight if you're going to back the young Sterling here. Like I said, Bellato has a lot of experience, and as much as it pains me, I might be willing to go and back Bellato. I still look at who he's only lost to, and it's got the draw with Crute, right? He's got the 2 losses to Petrino, but is that it, right? Is there any other fights that I'm missing? No, that's it. So there's the draw and the 2 losses to Petrino. I think Petrino's pretty damn good. He just played a bad fight when he fought Lionheart, right? He went and just dove head first, pulled the guillotine. The girl's got level of experience with jiu-jitsu that he wouldn't have if he did grappling for the rest of his life, Petrino. So, I mean, yeah, I think we'll see how chinny he is, right? I'm taking a chance with the dog here, but I'm going to back it Bellato. Money line plus 200, 205 and up.
Yeah, after back-to-back decisions win for Sterling in his past 2 fights, I am looking for him to get a finish here. Bellato, he's physically strong, but he has taken a lot of damage in his past 3 fights. It may just take one clean shot from Sterling to put his lights out. And we've seen Bellato recover when his opponent has gassed out, but I just don't see that happening here. I think Sterling, he has high fight IQ against Tukurios or whatever his name is.
Tukotokos.
So I just don't think he'll slow down, even if he can't get the finish. I like him maybe in a parlay piece, but to squeeze the number down, I like him inside the distance at even money.
So I'm saying, like, this bro, he does have expectations. He's got some hype. He's got potential. Will he match that potential? He's a very raw talent right now. Very, very green.
Good.
So, yeah, we're against each other on that one, but you could very well hit. I think you're right. The inside the distance. I think Bellato, like I said, I think is his chin going to hold up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into the next one. I got lightweight here, right? A little switch up again. Tom Nolan -145, and your boy Charlie Campbell. Are you taking the Cannibal as a dog?
Oh man, this should be a fun fight as long as it lasts. I mean, Tom Nolan, huge for the weight class, and I know how to truly use his reach advantage. I think he makes it hard for any opponent to kind of land a strike on him. And I like Charlie Campbell could cut a mean promo, but he's taking this fight on short notice. So I do think he'll be looking to be aggressive early instead of kind of relying on his cardio to hold up in rounds 2 and 3. But obviously, Charlie Campbell, entertaining. But I think the reach and the well-roundedness of Tom Nolan will be too much for the 30-year-old, only making his first U appearance in 2025. This is his first fight this year. So, yeah, give me excuse me. Give me Tom Nolan -148.
I'm on Tom Nolan on the money line here. I think I like Charlie Campbell. I think we both do. But I think Tom Nolan's really good. I do. And I think Charlie Campbell might like this fight standing, and I think that's going to work at a disadvantage for him. I think Tom Nolan can catch him. I have him winning with the second round knockout on my verdict prediction. So, yeah, I'm with you as well. Tom Nolan on the money line. I'm seeing this next fight. We got the heavyweights, Louis Sutherland +115. So a newcomer guy that has looked a little diminished. I think a lot of people have been talking about him in that one fight as a champion last time. And then he's taking on Justin Tafa here, man. I don't know. What do you call it? My brother's keeper, right? Is he gonna what was the saying that we have with them, with the brothers?
Oh, I
the
don't
brother
remember.
that stepped up.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I could back Louis Sutherland, right? You're right, with the potential juicing that he may have incurred. So my play is, if you're going to bet Justin Tafa, you're going to bet the Tafa brothers, you better bet them with the KO TKO. So Tafa via KO TKO at +135.
Give me another underdog. I'll take Sutherland here at +105. I'll fade an Aussie.
Have you seen his fights? Have you seen his fights? I don't know.
I like the newcomer. I think this is going to be a nice heavyweight battle. He obviously hasn't faced anyone near the level of Tafa on the regional scene. I think Louis has what it takes to win this fight. He's a heavy hitter. He's faster than Tafa from what I've seen, and he has some grappling and ground and pound, which I think would be kind of his safest path to victory rather than standing and training with the bad man. So I don't know if he wants to stand and bang with Justin Tafa, but he does have some ground game, and I think it's worth a shot here. It's close on the books for a reason. Give me the dog +105. I think he's live.
Okay. Death, taxes, and Neil Magny by decision. Exactly. Man, I don't know. It is a hefty price to play Jake Matthews. You know what I mean? So I think it's very tempting to play Neil Magny straight up, but I'll go with the over. You see a lot of decision fights with Jake Matthews. Super talented. He could outclass Neil Magny, but we could see a classic Neil Magny performance here. So over 2.5 rounds, -135.
Yeah, surprisingly, I have no bet, but I am rooting for my boy Neil Magny.
Yeah, travel. He would be the parlay ruiner.
He would be. He would go into Perth and ruin everyone's parlay.
Everyone's night, because everyone over there is gonna have Jake Matthews. They're gonna have the hometown kid, the Celtic kid now. So
come on.
And we talked about him, Jimmy Crute. He's back. We all love Jimmy the Brute Crute, right? I mean, he's a light heavyweight phenom. We love this kid. -170. The odds are on his favor against Ivan Urslan. I think there's a lot of fight in Urslan here. And at a dog price at plus 155, I think it's maybe tempting. Not for me though. I gotta go Jimmy Crute all the way here. I even got Jimmy Crute so far as to knocking this guy out in the first round. So I'm all in on Jimmy Crute.
Yeah, I'll take Jimmy Crute here. And at least he's won a fight in the UFC octagon, neither of which this guy Evan or Eva, he hasn't. So Ursulanian, he has not shown that he kind of belongs on this level. Losing both of his fights in the UFC, Crute is bigger, younger, and I just think he's better everywhere. And I think he's a dangerous finisher on the feet and on the mat. So yeah, I see minus 180, minus 188, shop around, but I think he's a good parlay piece. I'd take Jimmy Crute here.
Yeah, his parlay piece, maybe even the KO TKO, because even though he does have some submissions, he could, like you said, knock you on the feet or take you down and ground and pound pretty efficiently. So this co-main event, I think, snuck around, right? Because I thought it was going to be, or may I actually flipped it?
You flipped it.
I finally screwed it up. Damn it. But it was this. They did put Jack Jenkins as a co-main event originally. And then they switched it last minute. They did. But Jimmy Crute deserves it more because I got Jack Jenkins losing.
Wow.
I do. I'm taking Ramon Tavares. I think he has hands. I think he's a little bit of an underdog. I think it's worth the value here. Jack Jenkins is really good. I really like Jack Jenkins a lot. I think he's a really, really good fighter. But you ever have there's those guys, right? They have all the talent in the world, but for some reason they just can't put it together. And for some reason, every time I see Jack Jenkins out, he seems like a shell of himself. We're like waiting to see something, but he proves us time and time again that these losses keep racking up, right? The scoreboard, doesn't lie. So, I mean, he's got to prove me wrong here. So I'm taking the value with the dog based off Jack Jenkins' performances. So I do like you, Jack Fowler Jenkins, but let's see what you got.
Yeah, stylistically, I do think this is a solid matchup for Jack Jenkins. He should have the advantage kind of anywhere the fight ends up, I feel like. And I expect him to work and damage calf kicks. He loves those calf kicks and often. And, he's risen to a 3-1 favorite. You can't take him there. So, I did his KO TKO. I think he could knock out Ramon Tavares. So, yeah, minus 250, little pizza bet. I'll take Jack Jenkins via KO TKO.
Bam. Head to head in a couple, in agreement with some. So we've made it to the main event of UFC Perth and title implications. One more fight away. Whoever comes out victorious here. Carlos Ulberg, maybe the most handsomest man in sports, taking on Dominic Reyes and probably the most popular return into mixed martial arts, right? Everyone's rooting for the Dominic Reyes story right here. And the odds makers are against him. He's a dog. He's plus 220. I think the age definitely has something to do with it. Ulberg being the young stud that he is, it's minus 235 his way, man. I want to back Dominic Reyes so bad, and something's telling me, and I hope that my intuition is true, that you're going to take him, but I'm going to go with Ulberg in this spot. I think he's a little too fast. I think he's in just a little bit too good of a shape in his prime more, and though the Dominic Reyes return has been spectacular, maybe the guys that his fight have just been stylistic in his favor. I don't think this one is stylistic in his favor. We're going to have to see Dom Reyes wrestle, and I just don't know how effective he can pull it off, right? So, yeah, I'm with Carlos Ulberg. Maybe not a finish as everyone may expect or want. I'm just taking Ulberg via decision here to get those odds reversed, and it's pretty hefty here. Plus 525 for the playing him via decision, where his game. If you could keep on the outside most of the fight, he could run it up in 5 rounds and win unanimously on that scorecard. So yeah, plus 525. I'll play it on the Ulberg decision.
Yeah, I agree. I think the winner of this fight could definitely put himself next in line at that light heavyweight championship. I agree. I think Ulberg is a more well-rounded fighter, but near 2-1 odds for Ulberg. It's just too wide for me to take him. Ulberg, he's won his last 2 fights by decision, and he won't rush in and allow Dominic Reyes to counter strike. So it's win by knockout or bust for Reyes. Both men are aware of each other's power, and I just don't think we're going to see that all-out brawl. I think both of them are really smart. Instead, I'm going to take the over 1.5 rounds here. I expect Ulberg to dictate the pace, stretch the fight out in the later rounds, while Reyes, I think he's going to look for a late KO, TKO. So I really don't know. I probably would have taken Dominic Reyes just on pure value. But I'm going to take the over 1.5 rounds, and you could get that at minus 170.
That's a safe bet, man. I mean, it's smart. You think that Reyes is going to catch him early? It's possible, but more or less of his knockouts happen after flurries, after late round punishment. So yeah, and Elberg style is that as well. It's accumulation finishes you normally see from him, not these kind of first round. I think just the Metafield approach was the worst approach. Just go in there with your hands down and just get knocked out. So
yeah,
that's the only time that's happening. So, but I think that was a good view of Perth card, and I honestly I do think I tweeted about it. I think a lot of us are looking ahead at the pay-per-view we didn't get in the month of September. We're looking at the pay-per-view to start off the October.
yeah, cannot wait for that next week. But enjoy UFC Perth. Prelim start at 7. Main card starts at 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. But kid, Dana White Contender Series Week 8. Why don't you take us over Tuesday, 8 p.m. on ESPN? What do you got?
Yeah, buddy. Yo, I like these fights again. Maybe we get another good night. You got flyweights, so smaller guys, man. Rashid Vagabov taking on Paulo da Silva. We like the Brazilian fighters here, but I just think this guy, once again, maybe a little too young. Vagabond's probably got that Russian wrestling, probably a little more experience. So give me Vagabond straight up. I'll take him to start the card on Tuesday. Let's go to the next fight. Curtis Campbell hasn't lost a fight in his career, pro or amateur. On Dembasek, he has some questionable wins, man. I think I'm all in on Curtis Campbell. Sometimes we can argue who we're getting out of the Cage Warriors branch, but I think for the most part we're getting some good fighters. So I'm going to go with Curtis Campbell there. Mid-round fight here. Christopher Aldridvez is taking on Eliezer Kubanza. I think you get 2 finishes in this one. I think normally you're going to get a finish. Maybe you could say these guys cancel each other out, but no, I think that one guy's going to get a finish in here. Eliezer Kubanza, I think he hunts him, and Aldridvez could round it out with some maybe inside edition finishes, with the submission. So under 2.5 rounds in that. We're going back to the totals, and we're feeling pretty good about it. Remember, we're getting these contracts in, boy. So in this co-main event, I'm expecting the same. We got Luis Jourdain. I think that's Charles Jourdain's brother. I think he's a dog. I think he's got heart. Magno Diaz is going to be looking for a finish from the Fighting Nerds. I think that low-key could be the people's main event come Tuesday night. Going to see a finish under 2.5 rounds in that co-main event there. And then in the main event, Vitor Costa is taking on Damian Piñas. And I think Damian Piñas is a star. I mean, he's the number 1 ranked fighter coming out of the Caribbeans. And yeah, Vitor Costa is a good fighter, but I don't know, man. Piñas looks to be a demolisher. So give me Damian Piñas to get that victory in the main event for week 8 of the Dana White Contender Series.
Usually I come on here and I say, well, you might as well watch Dana White Contender Series. There's nothing on Tuesday, but you're wrong. Playoff baseball is back, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way it starts. Yeah.
And it starts. So tune your clocks, and it's going to be a hell of a Tuesday.
We better make it. We win. We got to win every game.
Yeah, we got to win every game. Just control what you can control, and let's win. Let's go Mets. Why don't you end us off in Japan, Risen 51. What do you got?
Yes, sir. I'm touching the 2 title fights. You got the Risen Fighting Federation Featherweight Championship on display in the co-main event. Razabali Shadulaev is taking on Victor Kolesnik, and Kolesnik's been over the world fighting. He's been doing it for a while, but man, let's not forget these fantastic fighter out of Kyrgyzstan. I think Shadulaev is the real deal. I think he'll retain as he's already the champion. I think we're seeing 2 title defenses, as I'm also going to be taking Satoshi. I'm taking Roberto da Silva. He's a legitimate Brazilian fighter, and he's been running Risen for quite a while. I think he's going to outclass Yoshinori Hori. So those are my 2 picks for Risen 51.
And that goes off Sunday morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be a little bit later, maybe towards the end of Perth, like the first couple fights start. So yeah, they posted on that, it'll be an internet pay-per-view or something.
All right, and then you guys set your alarms early for Dublin, 9:30. Steelers and Vikings.
You think it'll be a high-scoring affair, or just the travel's too much?
Vikings -2.5. I believe in Carson.
Okay,
so let's fucking go.
Yeah, Carson Wentz comeback.
Yeah, and I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Revenge tour. I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Kid, what do you got? Any last words before we get up out of here?
No, that's it. Enjoy everything. Like you said, the start of playoff baseball, and let's hope the Mets make it. For most of us.
For most of us, exactly. Well, enjoy the fights, everyone. Good luck on all your bets, and we will see you guys down the road. Peace.